So, we're here with Andres Woodruff behind BRAVVADO, and I really want to talk about this because I remember you came to the final presentations with Todd.
Yes.
And you seemed very interested in how this could apply to what you've been developing. So, I want to talk a little bit about what the practice behind BRAVVADO is, and just really get into who you're serving, what you do, and how it works. But yeah, tell us a little bit about BRAVVADO.
Yeah. So BRAVVADO is a conceptual photography and spatial design practice based here in Los Angeles. We take a very cinematic approach to set design and visual storytelling for brands and editorial partners. So a lot of our work is really rooted in the fact that we want to elicit an emotional response from whoever engages with the work. And that's through editorial shoots, it's through campaigns, it's through fashion films, and also design installations.
Speaking of design installations, like you have a very specific design language that
Yes.
I've always been a fan of. It feels, there's these really beautiful saturated colors, which like color saturation is a personal favorite of mine, but it's not, it doesn't hit for everybody sometimes. So it's like you're very particular in the worlds that you build.
Yeah.
Definitely loving some of these reference points. Like talk a little bit about the inputs that you get from film and cities and people. Like where are inspirational points finding their way into you, and how would someone else be able to say, you know what, I think I might like this too. Like talk a little bit about your influences here.
Yeah, so really a lot of the inspiration for BRAVVADO comes from futurism, organic form, and texture. So with those three, I really like to create high sensory imagery. And with that, I get inspired by places, people, of course. And up here you see Vogue Portugal. So really well-known publication. And they do a lot of work on location that's not typically done in studio. And coming from a photographer's perspective, being able to really immerse yourself in the environment can really open the door for more rawness and authenticity with the work that gets produced.
Yeah.
And what Vogue Portugal does and what BRAVVADO does is really trying to keep up that classic editorial feel with the imagery that's produced. And the same thing goes for Seoul. If you've ever been to South Korea, it's a really futuristic, modern city. It's very intelligent. Just in the architecture and the way the city has been built, we take a lot of those kind of design codes within our spatial design practice, in our installations, in our exhibitions, and really use that to move through the world of BRAVVADO.
Fantastic. I see you have Gustav Holst the Planets here.
Yes.
Where is this here?
This is actually Berlin.
Okay, and then where are these references from?
So the one all the way on the end is actually Zaha Hadid. So Zaha Hadid is actually an architect by trade, but she does lighting design as well. So this is one of her light fixtures that she came out with in the last couple of years, and she really uses light and shape to produce a mood. And mood is such a big aesthetic for BRAVVADO because it really can dictate how you feel, and we want that emotional connection to really come through the work itself.
For sure.
Yeah.
And these two here?
So this is actually from Zhang Lu. Zhang Lu is a Chinese sculptor. He does a lot of intricate metal compositions that imitate water, but this was a special exhibition he did out in Tokyo, and that's what he produced. Here is actually Balmain's Fall-Winter 23 Resort collection, and Olivier, he does what he does.
He has a lot of fun.
So that one speaks for itself.
Yeah. I want to talk about kind of character references.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of times, someone will see something like, "Oh, maybe this isn't for me," and sometimes people see something and say, "Oh, this is." I have a friend that's absolutely into this particular thing.
Right.
You have Sean Brown, Joe Kay, Lewis Hamilton. What is it about kind of the way that they move through the world that speaks to you, that you feel there's a balance to the world you create and the type of people that will be interested in engaging with BRAVVADO?
Yeah, for sure. Really the through line between all these three individuals is their need for exploration and also this intrinsic value that they don't want to be bound or confined to one single thing.
Yeah.
So they all love to travel. They all enjoy experiencing new cultures. They appreciate art and design, and through that, they get to take those experiences and bring it back into their own practice and form.
Yeah.
And through that, they can create something that's never been done before. So Bravado truly exists in that same world.
All right. Speaking of, let's get into the work that you do.
Yes.
I just want to go back.
We go back.
Please tell me about this. This is some of your editorial work, correct?
Yes.
So you all did this.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about this really quick.
Yeah, so this is actually a shoot that we did back in January of this year.
Okay.
Editorial shoot. This is kind of a really good example of the kind of work we produce. It's very high concept, high contrast, and that kind of exudes through the work. So everything from the concept to styling, location, set design, lighting was done by us.
All right. Up here we have, appears to be a fashion film and then a space. So these are examples of what someone could engage with Bravado for. So the editorial.
The fashion film.
Right. And then the spatial design here.
Yep, absolutely.
Where is this?
So this is actually, you ever heard of a company called Gentle Monster?
I have, yeah, the eyewear company.
The eyewear company. South Korean eyewear company. This is actually in their store in Chengdu, China.
Okay.
So what they do that's different than a lot of other eyewear brands is they create themed sculptures and installations that obviously are used to display their product, but also just drives customer traffic.
Yeah.
They do it in a really dope way.
No, for sure. It definitely feels like you're walking into an installation that you can buy things from, which is super dope.
Exactly.
And then this is a art film that you did for
Kent Anthony.
Okay.
So we produced this fashion film for Kent Anthony's Fall Winter 25 collection, and we produced this, shot it back in January as well. Just quick little dialogue about Kent. You know Kent. I know Kent. Kent's my good friend. I've worked with the brand for years now. He produces amazing work, and I've just had an opportunity to really, showcase what Bravado does really in the fashion, through a fashion lens, but in motion portraiture.
Absolutely, it definitely has. I've watched that a couple times. It's a lot of fun. So I'm just glad we got to talk about it here. When we talk about your contemporaries, you have Zheng Lu, you have Daniel Archer, Sebastian Hepting, Playlab. Anyone that's familiar with these practices would understand where it is. Some people may only be familiar with Playlab's work from this particular Louis Vuitton show that Virgil did. But within this world, right, where are you in the spectrum of this? Like, if Bravado's representing these levels of services and I'm coming into you, higher end or middle range as far as like production budget wise, where would you say you fall within your contemporaries here?
Definitely on the high end bespoke range of things.
Got it. So you're going to be making something specifically for what that client's looking for, whether it's the editorial or the spatial design or even the art films.
Exactly.
So definitely, I mean, when you see this, like, you get what you pay for.
Absolutely.
But you're in good company with that. Really love the website here. This is the primary portal for engaging with you?
Primary portal, if you're looking to obviously inquire or just learn more about the body of work that we produce, the website's the best way to go to.
Okay, fantastic. I love this here because we talked about this, of someone understanding what it's like to actually work with Bravado. Just real quickly, we have the client journey being from the inquiry all the way to the follow-up.
Yeah.
Just really quickly walk us through kind of like what those steps would look like, say, for an editorial shoot like you're seeing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, inquiry and consultation either come through the website, we schedule a call to really see what the vision is, how we can execute that, and then we move into concept development. From there, mood boards, treatments, putting together what the concept looks like from an overarching standpoint.
Yeah.
And then we slide into logistics, pre-production, so the who, the what, the where, the why, talent, scheduling. If we need to find locations, we scout those locations, right? Then we move into actual production execution. So that's the fun part. That's when we actually get to go make the magic and shoot and execute the vision that I have, that the client has for what we're doing.
Got it.
And from there, post-production, that just looks like editing and retouching.
Okay.
Then, in terms of delivery and integration, this is really how the audience is going to engage with the work. So if we're doing an editorial publication, right, is that publication going to be in a digital publication? It's going to be in a print magazine, or are we going to put it in an exhibit in a museum, right? So how are the public going to engage with what we just produced.
Got it.
And with endowment and gifting, this really, you kind of specifically will see this with our spatial design. When we do installations and such, we like to give the audience something to leave with. Collectibles, merchandise, art books,
Got it.
things like that. And of course, follow-up and collaboration, we want to close the loop. And of course, for future collaborations, work with us. If you have referrals, send them our way.
I love it. And it's also very nice to have, it's very clear what the rails are, the things are going to be going through. So as we look at this, looking towards the future, what are some future projects that you have in mind, and what's the team you need, operations, like give us the rundown of like what you're trying to do and what you need.
So long term, we want to build moments in time, literally build them out through large scale installations where we create the campaign, we shoot the concept, it gets displayed, and eventually it gets bought and collected by a museum, a gallery, or a curatorial
Like
space.
the actual set that was created
set,
for that.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And these are just some examples, real life examples of what.
Wish I could walk through all of
Right.
these. That's incredible. So, this looks like, this is your team. This is everybody that would be at the BRAVVADO offices here. So,
and to really like execute the vision long term, we need funding, right?
Yeah.
And to secure funding, we need that for operations team. We have people on payroll that would be wardrobe stylists, lighting designers, production managers, producers, and the list really just goes on. So our operating budget annually is going to be looking at around $2.3 million.
Got it. So you need a lot to be able to run that, but that's small compared to some, art firms, to some architecture firms. So it definitely makes sense. But this gives a very clear vision of where you're trying to get to, and I couldn't be happier to be here to talk about it. So contact information is up here for anyone interested. But in closing, any last notes, any thank yous you want to give out, anything else that you want to talk about?
In terms of thank yous, really just everyone in the cohort, everyone on my team, right? You, Jason, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. But just want everything that I do with BRAVVADO to make an impact wherever I go. So this is just another stepping stone for that, to get to that next level within my design, within my practice, and just within me as a whole. But
I'm very glad that you shared this with us, and I look forward to walking into some of these worlds. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.